Well, hello there. We've now reached that time of the year, 2020, that those of us who had some idea what was headed our way were perhaps the least enthusiastic to experience, and here we are, right in it. So this is going to be a mixture of personal and transpersonal, really, and I reckon the best place to start with is the personal, and that'll give me the cues to be able to move into the other aspect of this film. So at the moment I'm in what I feel to be a very experimental condition, because back in 2008, Dan, bless him, was the first person to receive the universal soul retrieval, and he certainly went through it. He did that on the behalf of all those that would experience the healing since and have a much easier ride than he had. And I knew when the person that I have been training up until extremely recently, who has just completed her training, reached the point that she was given her new healing modality, I knew that I would be the first guinea pig, and so I am. And so it's a couple of days ago I received this work, and it had such a powerful effect on me that it literally, I had to go to bed to receive it, and I was literally knocked out whilst it was happening, and woke up a while later. So I'm absolutely going through it on a personal level, and rather like certain experience with plant medicines, they can be very difficult to put into words. Well, the same thing goes with this healing. It's very tricky to find the words to describe what I'm going through. However, I'm doing my best, so here goes. So it really is a state of utter paradox, because I feel in one way very, very weak, but I know that's superficial. I know that what's going on deep beneath and inside me is that superficial exterior weakness is being matched by a extraordinary degree of strength on the innermost levels. That much I am clear about. I'm not clear about that much more at the moment. So it's quite something, and just as it was with Dan's healing, it's taking time. It's taking time to process, to digest, to assimilate, to adjust. And this is really the great truth about the healing journey, because as long as we're confining ourselves to pharmaceutical products, that is not healing, that is the relief of symptoms, and that is absolutely not what's going on with me. I'm having exactly the opposite. So I'm not having a relief of symptoms at all. If anything, I would say any symptoms are coming out to be experienced much more acutely, and that is what true healing is all about. And during this time I'm being put into awareness of particular people that I know or have known in my life. My dreams, which are already very strong this year, have become even stronger. And I'm very much aware that, how do I say it? There's a lot more going on than I'm able to be consciously aware of in my own inner healing journey. And this is very much reflected in terms of what's going on outside. Because superficially, what's happening is we're heading in this country, the UK, now to a United Kingdom full lock-up, as I prefer to call it. Feels more of an honest term. So that's going on, and in practice it's going to mean more of the same that people have become used to. It's going to mean more restrictions being imposed. People are going to experience more blind obedience as they forget that for most of the United Kingdom's history there's been a healthy distrust of governments. Very, very healthy, very strong distrust of governments, and it's funny how that has just almost completely gone out of the window for the vast majority this year. Go back 1 or 2 years, the kind of conversations here, government, oh yeah, well, what do you expect? Those conversations seem to be mostly absent now. People continue to wear bits of material on parts of their bodies they don't normally do. They'll probably hop on one leg if instructed to do so. In fact, they'll probably do whatever it is they're instructed to do. That's part of what's going on. And all this has become very familiar in one sense. And in another sense, there's so much more that's going on beneath, which is not immediately visible. And that is continuing to ramp up and up and up. And if I wasn't going through this incredibly paradoxical experience of great exterior weakness being balanced by great inner strength, I might be able to be a little bit more coherent. Frankly, I'm doing the best I can just to actually hold this camera and put one foot in front of another. So what I am going to be doing is, when I'm able to do so, I'm going to be a lot more coherent, and I'll most likely be sitting quietly. But I felt I wanted to take you out with me on this journey. The winds of change have been blowing strongly because the leaves have been slow to fall off the trees, but they'll be really falling off very, very rapidly over the last day or so. Here comes the wind again. Approaching the sea. One of the most helpful metaphors I find is to look at everything, life, my own personal journey, the transpersonal experience of what's going on around me in this nation state I inhabit. See it all as a chess game. So right now, my partner and I, we have grasped hold of this little pawn, and our pawn, we've got our hands on this pawn, and we're attempting to move our pawn from this location in South Devon to a different location. And we've got our hand on this pawn, and we're trying to move it, and things haven't been lining up yet. And then that gives us the opportunity to trust that when the time is right, our move will be permitted. As it is not yet, circumstances have not allowed has to do so. So we continue to pack, to prepare, to know that we need to go somewhere else, to know that the flat is sold, to know that we're in the middle of these massive changes just like everybody else is, and to know that we choose to be alive now. That's challenging. Wherever you live, you're going to feel it challenging. And then if I go right out onto the fully transpersonal realms of astrology, which I like to remind myself of the existence of, what's going on astrologically at the moment is of very great significance. There are so many planetary alignments, there are so many movements from retrograde back to direct motion, from direct motion to retrograde. There is so much going on in the bigger astrological picture at the moment. And all that is having its effect. And I guess this is why I've brought us out here, because this is a great metaphor for what's going on at the moment. If you're feeling battered by circumstances, by events, by what's going on for you internally, by the way your fellow human beings are behaving around you, that's so to be expected. And it's easy to lose sight of something. I know I certainly lose sight of it on a frequent basis at the moment, so I've just been reminded again. This is the 1st of November. This is Samhain, spelt Samhain, pronounced Samhain. It's a time of year of big changes anyway, but this year more so than most. So I feel more than anything else, it's good to realise that if, like me, you're fortunate enough to be able to put one foot in front of the other, and you're able to go outside and appreciate the beauty, the power and the majesty of the natural world, then that is something to be very, very grateful for indeed. And if you've somewhere to lay your head tonight that's warm and comfortable, then you are most extremely blessed, because of course there are so many that don't have that comfort at the moment. And there's an expression that the Koreans use in their TV shows. When people are going through a particularly hard time, they say, hang in there. And that's what I'm saying to you, and I'm saying it to myself. Let's just all hang in there. Let's all do our best. Let's stay awake. Let's witness what's going on. Let's find ways to communicate with each other, to remind each other that we are not alone. Let's share with each other. Let's draw strength from each other. Let's draw strength from the power of nature. Because it makes all the little cunning plans of little beings seem quite insignificant in the bigger picture. Thoroughly malevolent though they may be. And it's good to know that more and more people are working in the healing realms, both consciously and unconsciously. I know I'm up to all sorts when I'm asleep these days, and there are many healers who do feel that after what they know has been a darn good night's sleep, they wake up and they feel, oh my goodness me, whoa, that was a rough ride. So these are the times we're living in, these are the times we've chosen to be alive in. So I send you all a blessing, blessings to you all, love to you all, and let's remember that is the only truth, power of love, that is the truth. And the fear is false evidence appearing real, appearing, illusion, illusion. And when I find when fear attempts to grab me by the neck, I like to breathe deeply. I like to give gratitude for the fact that I've made of hundreds of billions of cells, and there are so many microbes that comprise my physical body that the numbers are mathematical. I can't even grasp how many microbes are part of me. I don't know, every time I see a fresh jar of kimchi, those microbes get excited because they knew it's new friends to play with. Discover the magic of kimchi, go to my film, start making your own, nourish your microbiome in a far more powerful way than you will ever be able to do with a conventional probiotic capsule. And see what happens to your consciousness, see what happens to your strength and your inner strength as, like me, I've been eating kimchi for years now. Such a simple thing to do, such profound effects. Thank you very much for being with me this morning. And yes, it's another day, another dawn. Still alive. All the love.